Hey guys, and welcome to another episode. Today in this video, I'm going to show you how to mount up a skid plate on your car. Now, my car comes with an OEM plastic skid plate, just like this, and I'm going to be removing this so I can install this one on here. So because I'm low, I'm going to be able to protect my engine, my oil pan, and everything from any bumps, because any impact from the car is going to be hitting this and not my oil pan. So this is going to be protecting my entire front end of the engine. So the engine, the transmission, and anything that's really low, it's all gonna be protected with the skid plate. So the car came with an OEM plastic one, and like even from, just having the thing around, it's damaged, it's cracked, and it needs to be replaced. And if you flip this over, you can even see that the car is scraping. See in here? So I removed all of these. See how it's scraping? So I removed all the little bolts, like the little push pins that are securing this thing in place. So there were a couple of them underneath the engine, and it was very simple. So I removed each one of those, took this out, set that aside, and now we're gonna be throwing this in. So there's gonna be 3 adapters that are gonna be holding this thing in place underneath the engine. So there's gonna be one right here, one here at the back, and another one up there at the front. So we have 2 different style mounts. So we have the one right here. This is what's gonna be attaching on the front part of the frame. And we have this big one right here that's gonna be attached on the back. So I already mounted up one of them up front, right here. So this, if you can tell, is gonna mount up to the front tow hook part of the car. So see that little hook? That's where it mounts up to. So you have the rear bolt, this one right there, that's gonna feed through the back part of it. And this is gonna be our hole for our skid plate so we can secure it in place, right there. Now for the back one, it's very similar. This part right here, this bolt is gonna be attached on the bottom side of the skid plate. So it's gonna be like this. And we have these 2 parts up top, 1, 2, for bolts to go in. So it's gonna be facing this way when we install it on the car. Now I'm gonna go underneath and show you exactly what it looks like. So right here we can see that we have a cross member that's attaching the front subframe onto the car. Now the 2 bolts that are shiny, I just screwed those in so you guys have an idea as to where we're gonna be installing the rear brace for the skid plate. So these 2 holes, they were already in the chassis, so I didn't need to drill anything out. These 2 bolts and washers, they came included in the kit. So it's just a matter of putting the adapter in there, mounting it up, and then the 1 bolt on the bottom for the skid plate to secure it in place. So we now have this rear adapter in place. We have the 2 screws with washers securing the bracket up top. And we have the 1 bolt on the bottom, which is gonna be attaching our skid plate onto the bracket. And if we move to the front, we can see that we have our bracket right here, and this is what's gonna be securing the front end of the skid plate in place. So it attaches to this little hook, and we've got the nut, a small washer, a larger washer, and then we have on top, we have a nut that's attached to this little bracket. So once you secure this in place, we can then go ahead and mount the skid plate onto here. All right, so we have it essentially mocked up as to where it's going. Now we have all the bolts loose, but in place. So the skid plate is up, but it's still not securely snug. So there's 3 bolts, one on the left, the one on the back, and another one up there on the right that we need to tighten up so that the skid plate is gonna be properly mounted in place. Now with it like this, you can see that if we were to hit anything, the car is gonna go over it, and the bottom side of the car isn't going to be damaged at all. So that is awesome. Now the skid plate right here, this is made out of aluminum, and it's 4 millimeters thick. So it's light, but it's strong. Now a kit like this, you can pick up from right there. The skid plate guy, I'll have his contact information in the description box. And if you guys say have an Accord or a car and you want a skid plate, talk to this guy. His name is Chris. He helped me out with all this, and I guarantee he'll take care of you guys. So this right here is underneath the driver's side left front of the car, and this is the skid plate. So we have the hole right here for our bracket, so we can align this, move it if we need to, and then tighten it up using a 17 millimeter socket. And then the bolt right here that's securing the skid plate in place is right there. So once you tighten both of these up on the driver's side, on the passenger side, and the same thing on the rear of the skid plate is gonna be properly mounted. Now after you guys have the skid plate mounted on your car, if you want, you can go ahead and mount the bumper back on there, and you guys are gonna be good to go. Now the old skid plate, the old plastic one that was underneath, it wasn't really a skid plate, it was like an undercarriage tray. you can throw that away or keep it if you would ever want to take this thing off your car. If you guys have any questions regarding the video, throw them down in the comment section below, and I'd be happy to help. Again, guys, thanks for watching. I'll catch you in the next one. Peace. So I've had the skid plate mounted on the car for about a week now, and going underneath the car, you can see what it looks like. So right there, that's gonna protect the entire under tray of the car. So think of this like you're wearing a jock. If anything were to hit you, this thing's gonna protect you so you don't get sacked. It's exactly the same kind of concept. So it's protecting the important goodies underneath your car. So if we were to hit something that's high, obviously it's gonna hit the bumper, but if it's low enough and it goes underneath the car, you're not gonna be damaging anything. The car is gonna go over top of whatever you're gonna hit or push whatever it is down instead of going through it. And that's gonna be saving your car or your oil pan from an expensive and costly repair. So with the bumper now mounted up, nope. Fuck. This is pretty difficult with one hand. Okay, let's try this.